230 feet beneath the sub-zero temperature
230
waters
feet?
while snorkeling in
My
Antarctica.
God.
Marine biologist Kirsty Brown found herself fighting for her life after being ambushed by an apex predator on barely a breath of air. What happened next was truly disturbing. On July 22nd, 2003, 28-year-old Kirsty Brown was on a routine research mission working with the British Antarctic Survey at the Rothera Research Station on Adelaide Island. The young marine biologist was studying the effects of iceberg disturbance on plant and animal communities inhabiting the nearshore seabed in South Cove and Ryder Bay when she was brutally attacked. Kirsty was a trained and educated geologist and oceanographer and had worked as a diver and research scientist in Greenland and Australia prior to joining the BAS. She had almost finished the first phase, which involved placing 500 concrete and plasticine markers on the seabed in relatively shallow waters to track iceberg gouging. However, right before they could move on to the next phase, their snorkeling expedition turned into an unbelievable nightmare.
Damn.
Workers at this station can only enter or leave seasonally due to the extremely cold temperatures and unpredictable
it's
weather.
that cold?
This means that during the austral winter, roughly April to October, workers are isolated and could be trapped during emergencies. That is why the station is equipped with emergency supplies, medical facilities, and plans for evacuation during the more accessible months. The sea around the station is also mostly frozen for much of the year, and the landscape features empty snowfields which are almost impossible to navigate without special equipment. To ensure safety,
I could imagine
the research
you need
team
special
follows
equipment for
strict
some shit like
procedures
that.
and rules. One important rule is that no one is allowed to dive if a leopard seal is seen nearby. This policy had ensured the safety of the personnel and seals for more than 30 years, but that was about to take a tragic turn.
Of course.
Leopard seals usually aren't dangerous to people unless they feel threatened. However, it's best to avoid getting close to an apex predator that can weigh over 1,000 pounds or 500 kilograms.
1,000 pounds? 1,000 pounds in his home. You in his home once you touch that water. You're in his house.
25 miles or 40 kilometers per hour.
25 miles per hour in the water?
With both canine and serrated teeth, known for often playing with their prey before consuming it, they thrash and shake their
They play too much.
to break it into smaller pieces.
You play too much, bro.
Temperature at negative 8.1 degrees Celsius. Kirsty and her diving partner thoroughly checked the area before putting on their dry suits around 3 p.m. Unlike wetsuits, dry suits create an air barrier between the person's body and the water and provides critical insulation against the Arctic's freezing temperatures. Both divers also wore a diving computer and snorkeling gear, meaning they could only surface swim. At 3:10 p.m., Kirsty and her research partner started swimming through a thin layer of grease ice on the surface, but the water's visibility stayed clear up to 30 meters or close to 100 feet. Aside from checking for leopard seals, researchers upheld safe diving conditions by posting a shore party of 2 BAS personnel on land. The safety crew would watch for hazards and call a rescue boat if needed. In the familiar area, everything seemed normal. Kirsty and her diving partner naturally separated while swimming at different paces.
That don't sound good.
They were about 15 to 20 meters apart. At that moment, Kirsty's partner noticed something massive heading straight for her. Kirsty didn't seem concerned as the unidentified animal circled her, observing her curiously.
Oh no.
In an instant, Kirsty's scream pierced the air as a leopard seal bit down on her leg with its powerful jaws and yanked her down into the icy water. Kirsty and the massive leopard seal vanished, and for a few breathtaking seconds, she was gone. Alarmed, her partner began swimming toward her. Witnessing the unfolding drama, the shore party radioed the research station to help her. But then, just as suddenly, Kirsty resurfaced, and she wasn't alone. At that moment, the peaceful research expedition had transformed into a desperate fight for survival. Somehow, a solitary leopard seal had slipped their sight. Her partner helplessly watched as she fought to escape its grip, but it was no use. On land, these seals were clumsy, forced to bounce on their bellies to move. But in the ocean, they sliced through the water using their muscular foreflippers with speed and precision. Amid the chaos, her partner assumed the attacker was a female due to its considerable size. According to their account of events, the seal was approximately 4.5 meters, or nearly 15 feet long.
Damn.
With reference to the rescue boat. This meant that the animal could have easily weighed over 1,200 pounds, or 540
There was no getting away.
Nearly 10 times Kirsty's weight, who was 5'1" and weighed just 55 kilograms. The apex predator seemed determined to keep Kirsty in its sights. Terrified, the marine biologist kicked and thrashed for another few seconds before it pulled her into the icy depths again. Kirsty's partner had just reached them, but lost sight of her again. The attack continued for over 10 minutes as the seal dragged Kirsty deeper and deeper, depriving her of oxygen. When she didn't resurface, her partner used his goggles to locate her. He spotted Kirsty struggling feebly against the relentless leopard seal,
Oh my
submerged
God.
5 meters below, holding her by her fin. The seal let Kirsty go long enough to allow her to float toward the surface, before clamping its jaws on her.
So this seal was playing a whole ass game with her, bro. That's what I'm picking up. This seal just super childish. Doing all this dragging, not eating, not killing her. He was being childish, gang.
Her again and dragging her back down.
He was childish.
Kirsty's diving buddy was horrified as they realized she wasn't coming back from the black depths of the Arctic waters. The situation was dire. Realizing they could do nothing, her diving partner swam back to the shore to join the party. Meanwhile, the rescue boat sped towards the scene, searching for any sign of Kirsty, but they found nothing. She was lost for about 10 more excruciating minutes before her colleagues saw the seal again. It resurfaced around 3:35 p.m., nearly half a mile from where they last saw her. The leopard seal held on to Kirsty, dragging her face down across the water. As the rescue party approached, they realized the seal might be trying to eat her. Desperate to save her, a team member hit the leopard seal with a shovel. Finally, it let her go. Losing interest as the crew quickly pulled her into the boat. The shore team started CPR as they returned to the research station. Once they were back, the staff worked tirelessly for an hour to resuscitate Kirsty. Officials soon visited the research station to investigate the incident, uncovering the alarming details of Kirsty's ordeal. The crew already knew about her various lacerations and bruises, but after recovering Kirsty's dive computer, they learned more unsettling details. The device revealed she was dragged to a depth of 230 feet or 70 meters. At such depths, even if she had escaped the seal's grip, she would have faced life-threatening risks from rapid ascent, including serious lung injuries caused by expanding air. Despite the crew's best efforts, she didn't make it. The Falkland Islands coroner, NPM Sanders, performed her autopsy, ruling her death as an accidental drowning. Following the incident, BAS officials suspended all snorkeling and scuba diving activities.
Jeez, bro. Rest in
After
peace,
a
Kirsty
thorough
Brown.
review, BAS reinstated diving activities in January 2004. Now, researchers must observe the local wildlife for 30 minutes before snorkeling or scuba diving. Divers must also have a boating party present and use diver-to-surface communication devices. A nearby island in Ryder Bay was named Kirsty Island, honoring her legacy as a dedicated marine biologist.
Solid. Rest in peace, Kirsty Brown, bro. That is horrible. That is a very tragic way to go and leave this earth, man. Rest in peace to her. Condolences to her family, man. That is crazy. Very nice of them to keep her memory alive by naming the island Kirsty Island, you know. That is awesome, and very nice of them to also change the rules up to where you need to do a thorough 30-minute search before you can even dive in the water. I hope that they're abiding by those rules out there and not messing around, not playing around, because as you can clearly see, that is not something to play about. That is not something to take lightly. Definitely do them pre-trips, you know, as if you was driving a truck, you know, fucking check everything, do all the checks, make sure all the boxes is checked off. And if anything looks suspicious, do not dive. Like, straight up, man. I'll see y'all in the next one.